So yeah, The Matrix, huge influential movie in VR. There were others before it, there were ones after it, but this is the huge one. For me, my second place would be my runner-up would be Strange Days. This was a 1999 movie. A lot of fear mongering about the year 2000 and all of the computers going offline, the Y2K. But in there, they also had this neural net thing. You pop it on your head, and it can record your memories. And then you can put it on a mini disc, like a Sony mini disc, which was a popular format at the time. It wasn't popular at all. They were trying to make it popular in films. You take a mini disc and you can load your memory onto that, and then you can listen. You can watch somebody's memory and live and be them. So if like they were a woman and they had sex, it's like, ooh, I get to feel what it's like to be a lady having sex, or a variety of other things. So this guy has recordings of himself when he was happy with his girlfriend and they broke up, but he still watches his videos. And to me, like, that's what VR video is. The VR180 video is the closest you can get to that right now. You're not, you don't feel what it's like to be, a big fat guy wearing socks with sandals, but you get to see one, and you get to see another Canadian dude. I don't know. I love this format, and I've always wanted something that's close to that. From the movie into this, and so it's been a big influential thing. That movie takes a lot of headspace. I think about it all of the time. What's your runner-up for a movie?
It's funny. The Matrix, like I said, like the runners-up are so far behind, it's hard to pick one. Like Strange Days is awesome. You said 1999. It's 1995 that movie came out.
No, 95. Sorry, the movie was set in 99.
Yeah, and Strange Days, the concept is awesome. I like the story in Strange Days. I mean, Total Recall is kind of a mind trip because you don't know, is it virtual reality, is it not virtual reality? There's I like other VR films for kind of like what they thought VR would be, I guess. But none of them are really like truly great films. So I'm going to kind of take it's not true VR, but I'm going to go with Tron Legacy. It isn't technically in VR because he does just travel inside a computer, but it's this whole new world and it's like he's there. I love that movie to pieces. If I had to pick a runner up though, like that was VR specific, I had to go Total Recall just because it is kind of a mind trip. And it's got Schwarzenegger, so that's kind of awesome.
The original or the remake? The Schwarzenegger
or Colin Farrell? I'm going OG on this one.
Okay.
Colin Farrell one is not so good. That was the best thing about the Schwarzenegger one, because the Schwarzenegger one, like, he goes to get VR, and then he pulls himself out of there, but was he out of there? And it's this whole thing of like, did he save the universe, or did he? Is it still a simulation? I really dug. It's not too loose, like there's enough there to make you think, yeah, like he did save the day, but there's just that little bit that makes you think, but did he? And I love that about that movie. So. Total Recall is my official VR runner-up, but Tron Legacy for its almost VR-ness.
Okay. Tron was a big one. Tron was getting to be inside of the video game, the original Tron. Very influential film to me as a kid as well. I love the soundtrack for that.
That's not
the
not
Moog synthesizer and the Tron soundtrack was the best. Okay, so let's move on to book. Because there's a lot of popular culture books, a lot of things that really drive the VR culture. You start off on paper and ink, and for both of us, that book is Ready Player One. I would love to say something like Snow Crash or other popular VR novels, but Ready Player One was the one that really got the ball rolling again. It was right before VR was about to get its headsets. It was right when we're about to get these guys here, our Gear VRs, or get our Daydreams, or even get like the cardboards. This one's fun. I'm showing the VR headsets. You put your camera in there. It's like a ViewMaster. It even has a little ViewMaster thing. Ready Player One.
We are the demographic for that game, that book. I mean, it's all 70s, 80s like gaming nostalgia, which is right when me and you were both born and played games like that. That's our childhood. So this thing caters to pop culture from our childhood, on top of the fact it's VR. It's a love letter to us, Danthol. I mean, Ernest, Ernest Cline? Is that the author?
Yes, absolutely, Ernest Cline.
Yeah, like he totally wrote that for me and you. I know he did. I haven't talked to him personally, nor have I ever met him or anything, but I know he was like, Ryan and Danthol deserve this book. and it really is like the movie. The movie, I enjoy the movie. I really think the movie is probably the best version that book could have been. Understanding that like all these like properties were owned by different studios, and it's just I understand like what they put together in there is still pretty impressive. It's not to the level the book goes to is absolutely insane. Like if you just like just a fun sci-fi adventure, then Ready Player One's good to go. Like it's amazing. Throw in that VR aspect though, and it's just next level. It's basically it's kind of the blueprint of where we all want VR to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've read the book once. I sat and read the book. It took me like 2 days. But it was you just sitting on the couch and like, what are you doing, Dad? I'm reading a book. What book are you reading? A Ready Player One. It's really good. So people are in the house like, what are you doing reading a book? This is weird. But after that, I got the audiobook so I can listen to it later. The audiobook on Audible is read by Will Wheaton, which is fun because Wheaton is actually referenced in the book as well, so he had fun with that. He's like Will Wheaton's vice president or president of the internet or something like that. Because the internet elections are way more important than regular elections, because regular elections, only people who can win are reality TV show hosts and evangelists, which is weird because that happened. A reality TV show's host became president. It's prophetic, the book. The audiobook I've listened like 5 times. I have like all these other audiobooks, and I'm like, I'm just going to listen to Ready Player One again. It's like my guilty pleasure. What's your favorite part of the book? Not the movie, the book.
Man, I mean, it'll spoil the plot a bit, but I don't. It's the whole. It's every part of it. It's just that like how true it was to '80s culture, and just how much like the. I'm drawing blanks on the spot, but the main guy that made the Oasis, I can't remember his name. But just like I said, it's just that like it's so fast paced.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, and it nails VR the way VR will be. It doesn't get crazy and nuts as far as like jacking in with a giant plug in the back of your neck, like Matrix. It does the tech right, and it's a gaming love story. Like that's the part I love the most. Is it's a love story to my childhood. To pick one part is so hard to do. It's got so many little nods and tidbits to like so many things that I love. Like that's what I love about it. I love that this book loves me.
Absolutely.
It's stupid to say, but I can't pick. I couldn't. I'm gonna read it again soon because it's been a while since I did read it. But I couldn't possibly pick one part that I liked more than any other. The whole book was just a joy from beginning to end.
Excellent. For my runner-up, I'm going to say there's a book series. It's also on Audible if you haven't listened to these. It's Dennis E. Taylor, and it's We Are Legion, We Are Bob. And it is about a person who, after his death, gets resurrected as software and essentially lives his life inside of a virtual reality construct. He is additionally, a flying spaceship, but he has a functioning VR that makes him feel human. He can see and do things, and VR is a huge, implementation in the book, and that's like a fantasy of mine, like for real life, immortality as software or as something after life. There's a lot of really cool stories that talk about that kind of thing. The Black Mirror episode, Santa Junipero, talks about that. But that's my runner-up. The We Are Legion, We Are Bob series of books. There's 3 of them right now. I think there's going to be another one soon. Do you have a runner-up for book?
I don't. My reading has dropped off huge, and I can't think of anything I've read that was VR-centric. So Gotcha. So that's we're here kind of showing you what PopGoesVR is going to be all about. We're going to talk about games, we're going to talk about books, we're going to talk movies, we're going to talk about the tech, everything that comes up. We'll have regular weekly episodes. Once we got this bad boy up and running, we'll have some episodes in between with specific reviews. Now, the most important part of PopGoesVR is our audience. That's you.
you're watching this, and we desperately need your help to get better equipment. We'll send some pictures of the equipment we're working with. We're working with the basic cameras. We're working with Lenovo Mirage cameras and ring lights and microphone setups, and we want to get better, and we want to make the best absolute content out there. So tell us what you want. Tell us the kind of things you want to see, what you want us to review. Tell us, to lose some weight, for me specifically. Tell others to stop being Canadian. I don't know. You can't stop being Canadian.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
whoa. But at the bottom of the page, and you're watching a YouTube video, so like in there, there's our Patreon that's going to help us buy equipment. We have Amazon links to all of the stuff we talked about on the show. If you feel like going and buying one of those things or buying a bunch of other things, use that Amazon link. Check out the webpage, which is in development. It's PopGoesVR.com. We're going to put all kinds of fun updates and written reviews and things like that on there as well. So, what's your vision for PopGoesVR, Ryan? What do you want us to do here? Yep.
I want to use this, like I said, this whole room space thing I want to do more with. And that comes back to Danthol. We want to get better cameras. The resolution on these things isn't the best.
Yes.
If we're close, it's pretty good. Anything behind me, you can kind of see I have all my boxes lit up behind me.
Nice.
In the video, hard to see those. So, we want better stuff to give you guys better stuff. I want to see what we can do with this 180 stuff beyond just recording at my desk. If we can record, if we can do stuff on scene somewhere, however we can figure that out with newer technology, I'd love to see what we can do with this to make VR better for everybody. Yeah. I want people to be able to watch this with a headset on and just look around and be able to just take in something that they have never seen before in a podcast.
Certainly. So where do we find out more about you and the stuff that you do in VR, Ryan?
Well, I'm wearing the shirt, guys. I'm the VR Grid. You can find me anywhere on social media, the VR Grid. I run a website, thevrgrid.com, and my YouTube page. I'm on Twitch as well. That's not going so hot. Doesn't really matter. I do reviews and gameplay videos of VR games and experiences, and I think I do good work. So follow me and let me know what you guys want to see on that stuff. But yeah, the VR Grid. If you're looking for me, you can't miss me. Danthol, what about you?
For me, go to watchinvr.com. That has a link to all the videos. I've made a whole bunch of YouTube videos, VR180 videos, going to Papago Park, going to the Hole in the Rock. It's really cool up there. Have a nice conversation with a gentleman about life, the universe, and everything. I went to Tempe Town Park. I go to all kinds of places, and I bring my cameras and record it and have fun with it. So if you want to watch more VR180 videos, go check those out. There's like 50 of them at this point, and specific episodes, so plenty for you to go and see. Other than that, I mean, heck, there's my main page about me, which is danthol.com. Not a whole lot going but there's links there to all of the other kind of stuff I do. I have a web page, links on there for like the art and things that you see that's goofy on the walls. So yeah, so please subscribe. If you're watching in VR like you should be, so like go back and subscribe so you get those regular updates on there. Click on the little bell icon, I guess. I'm not that much of a YouTuber, so I'm trying to like emulate them. Click the subscribe, click the whatever. Give us a subscription and things like that to help us grow, so we can get out of these tiny little rooms into an exciting places, talk to exciting people, and tell you all about the world of VR. Thank you very much for watching episode 0 of Pop Up. Pop Up. Why am I saying Pop Up? I can do that over again. Thank you very much for watching episode 0 of Pop Goes VR.
Later, all.